think of happiness, I think of my dad, Romeo. He is the most cheerful, easygoing person I know and embodies happiness. This is because he remembers where he came from, the conditions that he survived through, and knows how much of a difference migrating to Australia has made on his life. Romeo was born in Gabaldon in the province of Nueva Ecija, Philippines on the 23rd of June 1963. However, there is no official record of his birth. He is the youngest of 9 children born to Fortunato and Natividad Josen, with the age gap between the eldest and Romeo being 25 years. There is very little evidence of Romeo as a child because his family did not own any technology to capture their childhoods. In the Filipino culture, respecting your elders is of utmost importance, so growing up in the provinces of the Philippines, Romeo, as the youngest, had many chores. He would clean the house on a daily basis, scrub the floors, fetch water at the crack of dawn, and follow whatever his mother or older siblings told him to do, all on top of going to school, where he walked 1.5 kilometers each way. He has briefly spoken about his life growing up in the provinces of the Philippines. The story that resonates with me the most is the one when Romeo received his first pair of proper shoes at the age of 8. Before this time, he would go barefoot or wear chanelas when going to school or doing chores. He was so excited upon receiving them as a gift from his sister, who was 20 years his senior and was working full-time, that he asked his mum if he could wear them to bed. Shoes. Something that is such a staple in my life, and one thing I never went without growing up. Something so simple that I take for granted. Romeo migrated to Australia in July 1982. After settling into life in Australia, seeing the sights and completing the HSC, Romeo decided to attend Charles Sturt University in Wagga Wagga in 1985. Due to his lack of knowledge of Australian geography, he didn't realise that Wagga Wagga was over a 6-hour drive away from his home in the western suburbs of Sydney. But it must have been fate, because it was at university that he met Anne O'Connor, who he married in April 1991. Throughout my entire life, Romeo has remained very laid back and appreciative of the life he has built for himself. Whenever anyone meets my dad, they always comment on his cheerful demeanour and how he is always smiling. It wasn't until we travelled to the Philippines as a family in 2014 that the reality of what Dad's life was like before migrating to Australia really hit me. Although I had heard some stories from his childhood, to say I was shocked when visiting some of our extended family was an understatement. This house has a concrete floor and needs to be swept daily because of the dirt that comes in. There were no internal doors and the doorways were covered by cloth for privacy. Behind this house is where Romeo's brothers and sisters were born and raised. It used to be raised on stilts, but they have since been damaged and removed due to flooding in the area. Unlike today, there was no inside shower or toilet, lights or hot water available in the house when Romeo's family lived here. Some of our family continue to live in this house, which seems to be falling apart. Reliving this moment gives me a small glimpse into what my dad's life was like before migrating to Australia and how difficult it must have been, because I, for one, could not imagine living in such conditions. I feel very blessed to have grown up with a dad like mine. He has instilled many family values in me. I have great respect for my elders and would do anything for my family, much like my dad. He has taught me to always be grateful for what I have and what I receive, and to work tirelessly towards my goals. He always supports me in whatever I choose to do because he simply wants me to be happy. He lets me make my mistakes and learn from them. He is proud of me. You know the saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree? Well, I hope there's truth to that saying. My dad has such a positive attitude towards life, and I want to be a shining light in this world, just like him.